Alrighty, had a little bit of not sure if I'm gonna have a stream today because all of the like the center point people were out in front of here, so I was like, oh, are they fixing, you know, the thing that went bad a couple weeks ago now? I mean, it's to such a point that where's my pen? There's my pen. That the first center point guy came out and he was like, okay, usually, you know, 9 times out of 10 the problem is between it's on you guys, it's between their equipment and the house, and then you got to dig and kind of replace that line or do whatever. And we were like, this is like the 1 time out of 10 that it is actually their problem and their fix. So he said, you know, another crew is going to have to come by and do the digging. And then that crew came by and they was like, okay, it's going to be a bigger crew that's going to come by and do the digging and fixing. And this certainly did look like the bigger crew this morning, but I don't know if they're still here or not. They certainly had the bigger equipment. They had like a flatbed full of, I don't know what it was, but it was some big, it wasn't an earth mover. It almost looked like it was, I don't know, something to lay asphalt or something. Today is a quiet little GB comic. I've got a big to-do tomorrow evening for my freelance clients, so I'll make sure I get a lot of stuff done because tomorrow's pretty much not going to be really much of a day where I get anything done. Got that knocked out. I'm gonna have to group these. My goal is to get this line art done pretty quick because I have other items I need to get finished up here. Gosh, I have a lot to do today. I've got like nearly my whole list is not done, so for the week. It's okay. Gotta do my extra layer. Get that in here. Gotta take it one bit at a time. That's what you gotta do, is just don't let the list overwhelm you. Just take it one piece at a time. How do you, what is it? How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? All right, so here we go. Time well spent. Hoping and praying that maybe they're not fixing them. I mean, I want them to fix the power, but while I'm streaming, not while I have a comic left to do. Guess you can't pick the times. Sometimes they're inconvenient. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and make all of my frames out here. Center that set. Center this set. And this little guy right here. And I'm thinking I'll have to drag that down a little bit more because I do have a speech bubble here. And so what I do when I'm constructing a comic is I have my base sketch here, which is incredibly rough, and I most often have in my notebook here the raw comic, the beats kind of selected out, any text or narration or dialogue. I usually have here, if it's a poem-based one, I have that written here. And so I have all of that here. This is kind of step one in a physical format. And it really almost all of my comics start that way now. I mean, there are a few that go absolutely everything, even the concepting in Illustrator. But I mean, I don't know, something, I feel like the ideas flow easier when I am putting them down in a physical notebook, and it's just nice to, I don't know, it's just, I know that I'm, you know, putting it down here and it's, you know, all up there digital, but it's just kind of, I don't know. I still like that notepad note and concepting stage. This is another quiet comic. I really like the quiet comics. I don't know. welcome to the stream. Ariana, is that you? I'm trying to remember. Pumpkin here. Okay. It's like I know that username. I know it. Just updating rather my username files up here. Got a little itty bitty pumpkin with her. And this isn't a magic pumpkin, it's just a regular one. Look like this, and then maybe I'll just have an arm like this. And then, oh gosh, I'm drawing the arm with the pumpkin. Let's cut that out. Let's go to the computer. There we go. Yeah, good to see you too. I was worried that I wouldn't have a stream today because the Centerpoint people showed up. So there's a kind of an ongoing saga with the power here. It was a couple weeks ago. It was just kind of started off as like a flicker, like some lights would just flicker, and then it kind of went almost like just like an overall dimming, and there was not enough voltage coming to the house to run the air conditioner units. So that went out, but everything else was okay. The fridge was still running. Could not run the dryer, but actually the dryer would run, but the heating element would come on. So it was those little kind of like larger pull items that were down and out. So we called the electrical company, and holding the breath there because we had spoken to an electrician, and they're like, okay, well, usually what's going on is that the line between their, I don't know the right word for this. I don't want to say it's a transformer, but because I think the transformers are up in, like on the poles and stuff like that. This is something that's in the ground. It's basically the line between that and your house or your building is usually where the problem is. There's some shifting or whatever, and that line has been compromised, and that results in you having to fix it. It's not on their side. So 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. Luckily, this is actually on their side and their equipment. And the first dude that came out was like, okay, I've got some good news for you, but some bad news too. And they had to, he kind of set it up so that I had as much power as I had before. Still AC wasn't running and stuff like that, but he got an emergency crew out there to drop, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a bypass, a temporary bypass. It's like this huge wire, and they dropped one of those so we could get fully powered again, but then they determined that they can't fix whatever it is in the ground, and they had to call a bigger team out. And now the bigger team, I think this is 2 teams. So a bigger team came out and they're like, yeah, no, we got to send the other bigger team. Like, it's been escalated up to like, I think there were 6 or so people out there with a bunch of equipment. But I was like, ooh, does that mean the power's going to go out? But they're gone now. So I don't know what that means. And the power has not, knock on wood, has not gone out yet. So I don't know if that they were here just kind of surveying and seeing what they need to do for later, or if this was in prep for the big fixing. The fixing sounds like should be a movie. shining. But so yeah, I was looking at that and watching that, and Pete was going nuts. So I was like, oh God. But I felt that it was something hasn't happened, and they're kind of calmed down. I don't see any of their trucks out there anymore, so maybe they're just prepping or something. But yeah, so that's going on, and I don't know. I mean, it will be fixed. I just don't know when. Trying to compulsively save, you know, every so often. Every so often, more often than I usually do. Oh yeah, no, that would have been, you know, when we initially talked to the electrician, I mean, just, you know, the just kind of doom and gloom, and the you know, the costs are starting to add up because they have to, depending on what's in the area, you know, if they have to break through concrete, or they have to, you know, trench down in tree roots and all of that stuff. And there's an added wrinkle, I'm going to call it a wrinkle, even though it's about a 120-pound wrinkle of a Rottweiler from the next door renters. So we don't have a landlord we can talk to, because it's one of those places that they kind of buy up a bunch of houses and they kind of rent them out, kind of in a group, not in a group, but like, it's kind of like a, I don't want to call it a corporate entity, but it kind of feels like it. They're kind of buying up a lot of houses and doing that. But so there's not really anyone we can talk to about that and be like, you know, it's, aside from catching the renters when they're there, saying, hey, can you know, move your Roddy, because he's literally barking at all of these workers, and they've had to go over 2 houses and loop the hard line around kind of 3 different houses in order to avoid this Rottweiler, which they won't move or won't take inside. He seems like a very sweet boy. He's not, you know, I've observed him being very obedient and sweet, and he doesn't, like, he and Pete kind of have they just sniff each other. And there's like one dog that's another neighbor's dog that Pete just goes ballistic. They hate each other. And so it's really kind of interesting, because this one seems far bigger than that other dog, and Pete's just like, okay, whatever, you're chill, I like you. And no problems there, but it's just, you can tell these workers, because I heard the first guy, he kind of yipped. He's like, oh my, he just, the first time the Rottweiler kind of, you know, gave his warning bark, which is more like a, I don't even know how to describe it. It's so deep, and you just know that there's like a big old pup on the other side of that fence. But it was kind of funny, actually. I don't repeat what he said, but it was pretty funny. But so there's that added wrinkle there, and so I don't know if they adjusted their plans based on him, because he was kind of going crazy, and that's what initially alerted me to kind of check what's going on outside. But hopefully that'll get fixed up soon. It's not, the weather is, you know, we've got the Arctic blast, they're calling it. It's more north, or it's much more north than here. We're kind of getting like 60s-ish, which is awesome. But like my parents in Indiana, I think, are going to get 30s, I think. And my friend's mom up in Wyoming, she's getting like 20s. They're truly getting a blast. And So from the kind of Milton fallout, because it's like, I guess what it's doing is it's moving across the Gulf, or as it moved across the Gulf, it's pulling that cold air down in its wake. And then I think there's something else coming, or potential for, I think they're calling it Nadine, kind of in the south, and it could go either to Florida or to Texas right now, or at least that's what I saw last. And I'm hopeful that I watched in passing, there's like another trough of air that could potentially make it dissipate. So I'm like hoping for the best there, because nobody needs another hurricane after this year. Nobody needs any more of that. September is over, and that's when, like, the season is supposed to be over, so stop it already. But I'm definitely enjoying those cooler weather temperatures. I've been watching the Harry Potter movies again recently. It's kind of crazy, because I think my favorite by far is number 4. I've watched that one far more than any of the others, and I really believe I've only seen 1, 2, and 3 like once. I know I only saw 1 and 2 once, I think literally in the theater when they came out, because all of the events of those first few books and movies kind of blend together for me, and it's kind of fun just kind of going back and watching them again. On movie 5 now, which on the books, I hated book 5. Yeah, Order of the Phoenix, yeah. I hated book 5. It took me so long to get through it because I was so irritated by Harry's attitude. He was just the biggest punk and so smarmy and so just grumpy, and I could not get through that book. And I think finally by the time what's the 6th one called? Oh, it used to be right here. I was gonna Potion Prince, Prince of whatever, Prince of it's not the Prince of Potions, something like that. By the time that one came out, I was like, okay, I've got it. I got that one. And I was like, I have to force myself to finish 5. And I finally finished 5 so I could get to Half-Blood Prince. Yes, thank you. So I could get to the next book. And yeah, Prince of Potions. He is the Prince of Potions. That's what Snape is. I still have my, okay, I found it a couple months ago when I was cleaning out my sticker box. But Borders, I believe it was in advance of the 6th book. Oh no, maybe it was the 7th. They released the series of Trust Snape and the opposite. And of course I picked Trust Snape because I trust Snape. How could I not trust Alan Rickman's character? So I still have my Trust Snape sticker. I think maybe it was in advance. I think it was in advance of the, oh gosh, because when does Dumbledore die? I think that's the end of number 6. because they have to do that in order for Snape to get on the inside again, as I remember. Again, I think I've only watched that movie. I think I've only watched them once. I definitely have only seen Deathly Hallows once. I miss Borders. Yes, gosh. I'm excited though for the Barnes and Nobles. A lot of them are doing a rebuild, I don't know if it's maybe a rebrand as well, but they're kind of condensing their stores down. And from what I've heard, they're going back to what they had before. I hear like they're bringing back the chairs and the whole experience of going to a bookstore and, you know, kind of sitting down, reading a book and browsing and all of that good stuff. And the one nearest to me completely is gutting their space, and I don't know if they're going to take up the whole space as it was, or if it's going to be like half of it and then there's going to be an end cap over here for another business. But I went by there not long ago, and it's down to the studs, so they're doing a true rebuild of this store. And I was worried initially because, you know, a lot of times they close and like, oh, we're going to just remodel and we'll be back open. And then it never happens. But this one, it really looks like something's happening. So I'm excited to see how that ends up. But yeah, Borders that was my favorite because they actually had a good comprehensive selection of not only art books, but at the time, like business and online, and I felt like their selection was more cutting edge in that way. I could always go there and find the cool how to draw books or the manga books and stuff like that. Dee, hello, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. But yeah, I miss Borders a lot. I was so sad when they closed. Okay, Miss Boop, I've got to draw your face. But your face is not being cooperative here. But so I'm hopeful for that. There's a little corner bookstore around, yeah, has a book around the, what was this, and You've Got Mail, what was it called? The something around the corner, the bookstore around the corner, Meg Ryan's bookstore. I kind of have one of those here, and it's owned by these little old ladies, and they're always in there, you know. I try to support them when I can. The shop around the corner? It's a shop around the corner? It's been a while since I've watched You've Got Mail, so I probably should cue that one up. All is well, all is well. I just have to remember to save. I have a little open-ended leaves kind of blowing through the wind. the coconut hair, like that was right on the tip of my nose, and I just saw it because it kind of caught the light of my Thank you, Beanie. Thank you for bringing your special magic to today's stream. I know it's getting colder out because she went in her Twinkie this morning, and I'm excited. I always like it when she goes in her Twinkie. It has to get cooler. It just shows up, and I'm just like, wait. Sometimes I hate the ones that the random cat hair on the face when you're trying to go to sleep, and because that one, it's just tickly, and it's like here or here, and you can't get it, but you can feel it's there. Yeah, those are frustrating as heck. That one was good because I could see it. Got a floop up here. Floop up here. And then I've got Lady Boop right here, so I gotta make sure that this is the size it needs to be. So let's just kind of move them up a little bit. Save. Always be saving. Oh, I got a I don't know if it's still going on. I hope it is because I'm still thinking about it, but Aerie is having a sale, and I was there yesterday and I got this thing. I think it's like the long weekend sweatshirt, but it's the waffle one, and it was like $35, and I touched it and it is the softest thing I've ever touched, and it was like an instant buy, and I'm thinking about getting another one. So if you like Aerie stuff, definitely give it a look to see if that sale is still going on, because that was quite, they had their leggings and stuff on sale as well, but I was looking at them and I was like, no, I don't really feel like trying this stuff on, because I picked up one. It was the extra small, and I'm like, well, maybe this could go on my arm. That's how small it was. But it's like, yeah, I don't really feel like, and all of them were bell bottoms too, and I'm not, I would say maybe not a bell bottom. It looked like a bell bottom to me. I guess they call it wide leg, but it's a bell bottom because it nips in at the it nips in at the knee, and then so yeah, bell bottom yoga pant. I'm not like, I don't know about that, but those sweaters, my goodness, so soft. So if you want a good deal on a cozy sweater, go get them, or check if they're still running that sale. They didn't really even have, like, I went in there because one of the fitness people I follow, she was talking about, you know, how the pants are some of her favorite travel pants. I'm like, okay, I've seen this. I know it's in American Eagle, you know, sister or baby company or whatever. Never walked in there. And I was like, okay, well, it looks like really comfy, cozy stuff. So I wandered in, and And she was like, okay, well, I'm going to tell me all this sale stuff. And then I was like, started touching things, and I was like, oh. Because I kind of shop by feel. I don't really, and my sister's discovered this because she's observed me while I'm shopping. She's like, you don't really care about colors all that much. You're touching things, and you pick soft stuff. And so it's always funny how she kind of observed what I was doing. And I'm like, yeah, I shop first by touch, and second by anything else. I felt like their prices were a little bit of a breath of fresh air. I mean, because I've gone into, I was morbidly curious and went into Athleta, and it just $100. I mean, I know Lululemon is like $100 for leggings, and Athleta was kind of like right up there, and I'm like, really? I mean, I'm more of a Costco pricing girl. But alright, so this is gonna be, I'm gonna say her little shawl is flowing out behind her like a cape. We're gonna do that. But yeah, the pricing was nice. Breath of fresh air there when you're considering, you know, what a lot of these other athleisure brands do. Man, that sweater, I'm so excited to wear it. It's in the washer right now. But and the waffle one, that's the soft one. The other one, they have one that's like this, a similar name, the long weekend sweater, but it's not as soft as the waffle. I think that's how her, gotta figure out how's the soap. This line is going down here. It'll probably be like that, maybe? I don't want to have weird, maybe I'll just keep it simple and have that kind of shadowed. I can also share I don't feel tinfoil hatty for buying this, but I did get on the Amazon Prime Day sale, I got some of those Life Straw things. Just because, and what it is it's something, it's like this little filter thing that it allows you to, it filters impurities and bacteria out of water, so you can essentially drink directly from streams and lakes and stuff. But the water here they've given out so many water warnings, like don't drink it, boil water notices, because like the pressure goes down or whatever. They've had a lot of problems here, and I don't know, I just feel, especially with those last few, like I still don't know what the Derico was. Is that what they call the tornado down here? It was a Derico in May that like folded over the power lines and stuff. You know, water was out then, and it was out again for the other thing that came right behind it, that hurricane. So I don't know, it's just a good little emergency kit item that I got. I don't know, I'm not much of a prepper, but you know, there's certain things that I think it's probably wise to have. And plus, you know, I was reading how a lot of people, they use those in their, like if you go hiking and do a lot of that outdoorsy stuff, it's kind of like an essential piece of equipment, because it, you know, allows them to, you know, stay hydrated no matter where they are. So I was like, you know, if I want to get more outdoorsy, which I do, that would be a good thing to take along. And kind of oh, this floof is just living a life. So I got the best seat up here. Got a little bit of booty over here. Let's make this floof just a little bit, because I feel like with all of this booty, he might flop off. So let's give him a little bit less booty. Let's move him in a little bit to make him more balanced. There we go. A balanced floof is a happy floof, because this floof will not fly off with the leaves. I'll leave him without a smile, like just his eyes are closed and he's kind of in his I'm the king of the world pose. GB, I'm flying! I gotta keep track of this. Her little shawl is there, and let's erase this. So I've erased everything that the shawl is going to be covering. Alright, there we go. And now I need to erase her little paw here. And her paw here. And before actually, let's just do that. That's a cute little quiet scene. I'm going to save before I proceed to draw Boop, because that's just what we're doing today, not 340%. We just need 30%. Oh, another thing I splurged. I splurged. It's not as much of a splurge. It was just like $7.99 or something. I have my thermal label printer, which I love, but what's the company? Munbun. They have these thermal label stickers that are they have shapes. So they have a panda, they have a cat, and then they have a panda from behind. So if you want to print on the panda's butt, you can print on the panda's butt. And then they have another one that I can't remember. I think it was a dog, but I got the kitty ones because they were so cute and they were on sale. And I was just like, I've been looking at those stupid stickers. I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but I'll use them to seal something. Maybe because I have my regular thank you stickers. I could use them as a new thank you sticker. I could kind of just print. It'll only be black and white though. But yeah, they do. They have, okay, so that specific brand Munbun, I'm not saying it right. I think it's, I think there's a U in there, or sorry, a Y in there. They make the label printers as well as the stickers, and they have some of the more interesting kind of out of the box label rolls. So they have ones that have pre-printed like patterns on them. Like some of them are like marble pattern. They have ones that are clear so that you could use it as a label on a jar or like a product package sealer that's clear. Then you just, of course, you have the black printing on the thermal. However, they also have ones that they change the color. So it's not black printing. It would be like whatever the label is made of, it'll print. I know there's blue and I think there are a few others. But that one is really interesting. I haven't tried it yet, but apparently the thermal technology prints blue instead of black with the heat and all of that. But I have seen the blue, and I think there's one other color that I've seen. But I thought that was super interesting. I don't know if those are in stock anymore. I haven't seen them in a while, but I had my eye on them, but I didn't have a use for them yet. So I just keep your eye out. If you have a thermal label printer, there are some really fun things that are coming out that really extend the usage, because I just, you know, the plain black and white printing is good, but you can get pretty elaborate on the designs, especially if you do a color fill and then you use the reverse out like white. I've seen that was actually the example on the blue printed thermal tape. They had kind of reversed it out to make a blue, like edge to edge label with just the white knockout area as the thank you message. And I thought that was really clever, and that made me start thinking about, well, what applications can I do that with the stickers I have now? Because, you know, technically the whole thing can be, well, I mean, to the extent that your printer can print edge to edge, I guess it could potentially use the whole label surface. I haven't tested it on mine yet. I'm curious to, though, because I think that could be very interesting, but also I don't know how well that would hold up. But I don't know, it's interesting seeing some of those examples of what they've done with their label and the technology there, and you know how you can kind of think your way around that design and use it. But yeah, I follow that company. They also have the super tiny little like pocket thermal label printers. They have like one that's like this, and mine is like, it was probably about this big, but I got him on sale, and I remember I was just like, holy cow, because when I initially looked up the thermal label printers, they were several $100s. They were like $300-400, and they had come down. I think the one I got was like $89. It really wasn't that bad at all, and it and that's why I had kind of written them off for so many years. I was like, ugh, you know, I already have my inkjet. I'm just going to print from there. But this thing, I hit print, and maybe 2 or 3 seconds later, the label is coming out printed. And that time saver is just, it's it's just seconds, but those seconds add up. And to, you know, by the time I hit print, I can just get up, go around, rip it off, and put it on my package to send out. It's so nice. And in contrast, I print the packing slips and the print order on my regular inkjet printer, and that, you know, takes, you know, a couple of minutes to get that done. But it's so nice. Kind of one of those things like Shopify I'd wish I had done sooner, you know. Why did I put up with the heartache of ZenCart and Miva Merchant for so long when Shopify was sitting there all along? It's why did you do this to yourself? Why were you such a glutton for punishment? Oh, she's so happy. She's got her little leaves too. She's got little ones. Her little bitty leaves. But yeah, that thermal printer is definitely one that I do not regret at all. There was an additional thing that I did with it. So my freelance client, they had gotten some of their stickers into a local museum, and we needed to print the barcode. Well, not it. They actually took care of the barcode, but we needed to print little labels that went on the back of the 3-inch stickers with the title of it, and they wanted to put a QR code, so if somebody, you know, flipped it over, they could, you know, scan the code and go to the website and that type of stuff. So the name of the sticker, the price, and the QR code. And I got these little, it was a roll of, I think, 2-inch by 1-inch, and I mean, I printed that whole roll of, I think, 1,000 stickers out in just it. I broke it up for my own sanity into like 50 or 100 sticker sections, just so I could fold it and, you know, put it with the right design and that, but it just spit them out and printed them so quick. I love my thermal printer. It was so easy to load the new stickers because they have a little alignment thing. Work is Jake. Oh no. I hope it gets better. It is going well. It's going very well. I've got, whoops. Oh no. Well, I'll just redraw that. No big deal. I have to suggest her wings in here because I've got some things blocking it and I don't want her. Just draw it in like that, I think. Go. I'll take her face out. Her face line out. And then that extra little bit. And I think what I'll do is I'm gonna group her and just make her, even though she'll fit where she is, I'm going to make her a little bit smaller so her wings don't go outside of the frame. And I think that one will be done. Pretty. I can move this stuff out now. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. There. There we go. And now we do the, oops. So now we need to so this last one is going to be Granny Bear, just it's going to be kind of like a 3/4 shot, I'm thinking, just to change up the frame a little bit, because I have her in this position and then she's running, and then I have her sitting and lounging with the floofs here. I'm thinking I might, because if I go back to this framing and setup right here, I don't want to have yet another frame that's the same thing. I think like the zoom in might be nice to focus in on her face as she's speaking. And what she's going to say is, in this one, Boop is going to ask, you know, what are you thinking, GB? And she says, just that the finest ingredients, one of the finest ingredients in life is, or sweetest. I'm torn on the wording between finest and sweetest ingredients of life is time well spent. So, and yet she took these moments to, you know, just enjoy life. And save. All right, here we go. And in this one, I'm thinking that she might be lounging in those poofy pink flowers, maybe. I feel like I've drawn her doing that before though, but maybe it'll be just a nice, cushy, crispy pile of leaves, maybe. I want her smile to be a little softer. Let me draw in her ears right here, because she's leaning back. I'm not going to draw her back. Maybe I need to move her face over a little bit. I think I'm going to have like the fluffy, crispy pile of leaves. I'll have a floof right here. And here. Like that needs to be smaller. There we go. What a week it's been already. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it's just the week has gone by so fast. I mean, I don't feel like it should be Thursday. It needs to be like, you know, it needs to be Tuesday still. Can I get a Tuesday? I'm thinking though, I'm really curious. There is a art festival this weekend in Memorial Park, and it's one that I have been thinking. I mean, I applied to it many years ago, and I didn't have a lot of physical artwork, and so I never really pursued it. Now, I also never actually went to the art festival because they have it twice a year. They have it in the spring and in the fall, and it's in the same area. And it's actually, I'm curious to see how it is now because they've totally redone Memorial Park, and they've done the land bridge, and they kind of took over half of the park on the other side of the main artery kind of street, Memorial Drive, that goes through there. And I usually would stay on the other side that has the running track, the golf course, and all of that stuff over there. I never really wandered into the other side. It had more biking trails and interesting stuff over there, but they also had a lot of parking areas, so that's where they took over for the not vendors, but the artists and the tents and stuff like that. So I'm really kind of curious and might just poke my nose over there to see what there is to see. And if I want to try for maybe the spring, it's usually in March or in April, somewhere around there. Wanted to do that, I would probably work on doing my ink paintings. It would definitely be a different experience. Gotta have big mouth Swoop in here. I can get rid of that rough sketch. Just make his mouth a little smaller. And maybe his eyes a little more focused here. Oops. The little voice chirping, you better save, you better save, you better save. Because you know, if I hadn't saved just then, guess what would have gone out? I just know it. Oh, I don't need. Oh my god, what did I do? Okay, I just hit page down instead of delete. Whew. Don't need that much. I just need to erase this much. This one I need to have, Boop needs to be up here, chillin'. I need to move this. And I need to have a little floof here, kind of chillin' too. Maybe I'll have just the tips of this floof's tootsies, like, or maybe I won't have anything. Maybe the floof is buried in the leaves. It's fine. He can be that way. All right. So now I want to move this up just a little bit. There we go. Nope. Maybe I'll delete that. Nope. There we go. That's better. And we're going to save. I saw an intriguing one of my movie YouTubes. Oh, Catherine, hello! Welcome to the stream. Whoop. Come on now. There we go. My boop is not booping. There we go. Jeez. is. So I forget which one it is, but it's kind of one of, I watch a couple of the ones that give a rundown of like what's coming to Netflix, what's leaving Max, blah blah blah. And one of them usually does countdowns on like different genres, and he was counting down and saying that 2024 was a great year for horror movies. And I'm like, that's interesting to me, because I haven't really heard a lot of, chatter about that, and I'm kind of in the mood for a good spooky movie. I think the last new one I saw, and I didn't finish it, I feel bad because I kind of fast forwarded through it. I didn't really enjoy Smile as much as I thought I would. I don't know. Something about it, I just didn't really care for it all that much. I felt like is kind of, I don't know. I felt like it was very similar to It Follows. And I just didn't feel like I wanted to like continue watching all of it. And I usually, sit through and don't skip ahead, but for some reason that one I did. It was because of the cat. Yes. I did not. Okay. Yeah, that's why. I skipped ahead because I was like, I was upset. Even though it was off screen and you didn't really know, but yeah, they confirmed. And see, that's the reason why I didn't watch Quiet Place Part 2 until there was enough reviews and people watching it that I could Google, does the cat survive? And it did, so I watched it. Didn't make it any less, stressful, but love this series. I enjoyed the first one tremendously. I think in terms of rewatchability, I probably only watched the first one again. I know, right? They weren't going to be able to get rid of the cat. Oh, the outcry. Oh my goodness. And that was the first thing. As soon as I saw that trailer, and I knew that I found out that they had named the cat Frodo. I was like, if you kill Frodo, no, that would be the end of this movie and the end of the franchise. And I mean, there were some parts where where the cat should, there were so many parts where the cat should have been, toast. But like the one scene I was truly frustrated with was, I don't remember his name, but the dude, I don't remember actually any of their names. That's sad to me, because I did enjoy the movie. But he's going to get her medication for her pain, and apparently the cat follows him, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Why did you do this? Couldn't you just let the cat be safe and not, make my heart go 100 miles an hour? I know you're going to save the cat. I know he's going to be okay, but I don't want to go through this. Thank you. That cat, yes. Oh my gosh. I knew that cat was going to stress me out too. I knew it, and I had to be ready for it. All right, let's do this. I'm kind of curious, you know. I mean, I could never, of course, do this because I've seen the movies in order, but for someone who has never seen any of the franchise movies, if you watch them with that one first, so I'm wondering, like, because in the scene, like at the very beginning, after the aliens have, invaded and landed, the I guess the government tells everybody to come to this route to evacuate, go down to, I guess it's the docks or whatever it is. And so everybody crowds onto this street, and you get kind of like a close-up on just the sound and the massive amount of noise that all of these people coming together in one place are making. And because you've seen the rest of the series, that is a death sentence, that all of these people are going to just attract these aliens that are attracted to sound. And I'm wondering if, as a first-time viewer that doesn't really know the history, and you'll get some clues that the aliens are operative on sound, but if you've never seen it, would that scene have the same weight? Would it really have the same weight? And yeah, I know it was intense because you know what's coming. You know that this is bad, and you know that the character, she's realizing this is bad because she's realized what the issue is and the sound, or maybe she suspects, or she just. I get the feeling that in that scene, the wrongness is like I suspect this is not a good idea. I need to be going the other direction. And you see the physical manifestation of that, and this crowd is surging this direction, and she is the lone person that's going against it. And I really liked that scene, but I found myself wondering, if it was your first time watching, would it still communicate? I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, because if you don't know, and if you haven't had that confirmation, and I really wonder, like, the intensity of the first movie, I think it all culminated in the birth scene where, she cannot make noise, and, the creatures are there, and it is just, I mean, that was probably one of the most intense suspenseful scenes, that stands out to me in movies. But I was kind of wondering, it compares a little bit, but I don't feel that it was as acute as that scene. But that it was pretty intense, because you see this, and you see the writing on the wall, and you're like, oh my God, you guys, do not do this. You're not, is there enough information for them yet to know that that is not the right thing to do? But I mean, what else could you do? What else do you do in that situation? How do you get people out if you're not calling them to, one place? I mean, how do you save people in that situation? I feel like they also sort of suggested that, and I feel like it was reinforced when they blew the bridges out, because at the beginning they have the little blurb about the noise that New York City produces, so insinuating that the aliens landed only on Manhattan, and then that's why they blew out the bridges, and yada yada. But then I'm thinking back to the first one, and I don't really remember the location. But I guess it was on the East Coast as well. But yeah, I was also crying at the end of that one. I mean, I know she chose her fate, and I mean, I know they're just, they set it up that there was pretty much no fate for her other than that, but also to choose her own fate and to, but also save people in the process. And it was a good one. I think it was a solid entry into the franchise. Yeah, no, you think that would be, because I mean, if you were, let's say you're in an alien, put yourself in the mindset of invading, landing on a new planet. Are you going to put all your eggs in one basket and land only in one spot? Or are you going to do like the Independence Day approach where you're, plotting out in, plotting for success? I mean, because in Independence Day, they went for all like the major cities and stuff like that. And that, made a lot of sense. But would you just land in one spot? I mean, of course you kind of have to, but you got to land somewhere first. I'm thinking also in the Arrival, they had arrived in multiple locations as well, because in that one, the aliens gave pieces of the puzzle to each of the different countries. They gave a little piece of the puzzle to Amy Adams' character and what's his face, the dude that got in the snowplow accident, Jeremy Renner. They gave a piece to them, and like the whole piece that was missing that was given to China, I think. So they landed in multiple places too. What other alien movies are there? Like big alien movies coming to Earth. I haven't watched Cloverfield all that much. For some reason I thought it would give more insight to where they came from and all that, and I feel like that part of the chaos of it, yeah, they just kind of arrived because we're loud. I really liked how it played with time, and I need to watch it again because I've seen bits and pieces of it since I watched it in one sitting for the first time, because I was really excited for it. It looked great and I wasn't disappointed. But I kind of want to watch it again. I feel like it's one of those that after you know the twist, that you can sit down and, watch again and you can pick up more of the clues. Yeah, no, it was good. And I love the cinematography of it. I mean, the whole, the switching of gravity when they're going up into the ship, and just the visual nature of it. And I don't know, I think it was really neat that it reminded me a lot of the Japanese ink painting, the sumie, like how I guess, kind of like octopus type aliens were communicating with the ink on the, it wasn't really ink, was it? I don't know, I thought that was a good one. Really? There we go. I feel like her face is a little. And then on this one, it's going to be the 3/4 and she's talking, because I don't want to do 3 of almost the exact same. Now this is, I want to have it be like dusk. She's walking home. I'm trying to think what other. I haven't seen Interstellar. For whatever reason, I just haven't committed to watching that one yet. But yet how I find it kind of, I don't know. liked Prometheus. I don't feel bad for liking Prometheus. And I know it's a very polarizing, especially if you're really into the Alien franchise. But I was able to suspend, the usual, hey, wait a minute, stuff for that one. I just enjoyed the kind of the mystery of it. But the more video essays I watch on it, the more I understand why people that, especially, fans of the Alien franchise and all of that, are kind of like, ugh, be with it. But watched it having no idea it was part of the Alien. Oh, interesting. So how did you feel? I mean, did you, at the end, when the, I feel like it held together okay, but I mean, I almost feel like the alien was a little bit tacked on at the end, even though you get that the little, I guess the thing that was, oh yeah. Okay. I feel like it could have been a different movie in a different franchise. And I feel like they left, like, the whole part where the aliens were, like, at the very beginning where they find the chamber and they see the beheaded, like, big alien guy. I mean, and they see the hologram of the guys running from something, obviously. Well, what are they running from? And I feel like that was just a dropped thread, and it could have been very interesting, because that was kind of the first sense of dread that, I mean, there are a lot of things that, would give a sense of dread. I mean, they just took their helmets off in an alien planet without knowing, whatever is in the atmosphere. But I feel like that is an interesting thread that could have been pursued a little bit more, because, were they running from their own creation? I assume so, but I mean, certainly if they created it, they would know how to control it, right? I mean, I don't know. I feel like the characters were a little bit better developed. I mean, in the second one, the Alien Covenant, which picks back up on David and goes into the, like, where he and Dr. whatever her name was, Rooney Mara. Was it her, Rooney Mara? No. Whatever that chick's name was. They, go off at the end. That one was just very... The only character I really remember is Danny McBride. And the chick was very, very bland. She was not very memorable at all. And if you watch the newest, I have not watched it yet. I watched one kind of review. It was a negative one. They were not very happy with it. But that was from the perspective of a, big Alien franchise fan. So, and I'm not that deep into it. I mean, I probably, kind of the similar way with Terminator and Terminator 2, I enjoyed Aliens far more than Alien. And I would probably watch that over again, as opposed to the first one. But they're just two different movies. I mean, one's more of a kind of a concise... I would say it's a similar type of psychological horror to like how The Thing is. It's a confined location. You can't get off this ship really, and like in The Thing, you can't get out of that little research facility or whatever it was, and you've got this threat that's there. And I feel it's the first one is similar to that in that vein, and then the Aliens is more of like the shoot 'em up action movie. And if I'm looking at T2 versus the first Terminator, I mean they are both shoot 'em up action movies, but I just feel that I don't know. I've watched T2 far more than T1. I think on this one, I want to have them walking over the hill. They're walking home, obviously, there. I think I need to have her actually with her foot forward. Put your best foot forward. And then I need to angle this one back. I'll probably wait for that one to come out on the movie channels. It takes a lot to get me to the movie theater these days. I prefer just kind of watching things at home. But if it's like something I've heard that, it's really good if you watch it in the theater, like Maverick, I would definitely go see Maverick again in the theater. Got her pumpkin back. She's holding it over here. But let's get her arm where it should be. I feel like this arm is a little big. Curve it down a little bit because it is out from her body a little bit. I have I want to have Boops, maybe her wings are out a little bit and she's kind of just feeling the wind in her face as she's speaking. to pop just a smidge, like this. And give another, like the edge of her wing, you can see it here maybe. I like that. Just a nice little light float on her cape. Call it a cape. Maybe a cape. I think what I'm going to do is just move this. Might have to edit her. Oh yeah, that's kind of a wind in my face expression. I'm off to lunch always. Oh yes, so good chatting with you too, Ariana. I hope you have a good lunch and the rest of your Thursday and a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time. I might have to redo her expression a little bit. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling doing the shadows, like deep dark shadows, because I've been doing the Inktober. I always seem to lose my fear of contrast with Inktober because I'm forced to use it. But then it comes back. Maybe her face just needed to be bigger. I feel like her face is a little small. Make it a little bigger, but I also need to, like, I'm just going to edit her face later maybe. I'm going to come over here and draw her face line again. It's not quite where I want it to be. Do I leave the tip of her tail there? I could leave it there. Although it doesn't make sense if her, yeah, I probably need to not have her tail there. Because if her cape is down here, it's clearly covering her, so her tail's not going to be popping up. If it was going to pop up, it would have to kind of loop over it, so. 30% there. I'm gonna save that and save here. So the last thing I have is this little one and the speech bubble here. I've got to figure out this last sentence. It's going to be about time well spent and that being one of the sweetest treats of life. So I've got to figure out that there, and it is going to be a close-up on Boop's face. Sorry, Granny Bear and Boop. It's not going to be this again. It's going to be, you know, like something like that. And that's going to be the speech bubble. But I think I'll end the stream there, and I'm going to get some lunch. Let's go over to my ending screen. There we go. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had an enjoyable time in stream, and I will be back on Tuesday with, I'm not sure what, but something. It'll be something. Probably product development and stuff like that. Maybe a sketch. We shall see. Thank you, Catherine. I know you're not here anymore, but thank you, Ariana, Dee, all my lurkers. I hope you have a great rest of your day today, and I'll see you next time.